What is up, creatives? Welcome back to the channel. As you know, I'm Jahrell, your music technologist, and I'm here to help you master the tech you need to make music freely. I do this every week. For those of you that are in here that are regulars, welcome. Glad to see y'all in here. But for those of you that are new, I do this every single week on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you have that notification bell turned on so you don't miss the next time I go live or drop a video. So if you clicked on this video, you know what we're going to be getting into. So hang on, hold tight, we're going to get there. For those of you that are tuned in right now, let me know where you're tuning in from. Love to give shout outs on the channel. It's good to see some of my regulars back in here. Shout out to Benjamin Demers in here, E-Class the God, iMaze69. Yo, Big Baby Productions in the building. What's up? Mobile Music Pro. Welcome. Glad to see you in here, man. Yep. Blaze Reeves says he's been waiting for this one. Good. Hopefully it'll add some value. So, yo, E-Class is coming in from Atlanta. Dope. I know a lot of folks in the music scene that are like in Atlanta. Atlanta's the hot spot right now. Jacksonville, Florida. We got someone in from Jacksonville. Blaze Reeves. Dope. All right, y'all. Yo, E-Class from Duval. That's dope. All right. So, those of you that haven't seen it yet, after you get done watching this, definitely jump in the description. The first link in the description is my first video for the Suggester app, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. It's a killer app. I did a full in-depth review of Suggester on in that video. I went into every single, probably not every single, but just about everything you can do in that app I covered in the video. So what we're going to do today is talk about some new features that I've been put onto by a couple of folks. A while back, Benjamin Demers, who's in here, sent me a video from Beats Pocket. I don't know if you guys have seen Beats Pocket, but his videos are actually super helpful and he's hilarious while he's doing it, which is pretty cool. So if y'all haven't checked him out, check out Beats Pockets, B-E-A-T-Z Pocket. And anyway, I saw his video on how he puts in chords into Beatmaker 3 using Suggester, and I hadn't done that yet. I had just been doing, exporting it as Midi. But there's an easier way to do it, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. All right, so hopefully you guys have Suggester hooked up and ready to go. We're going to dive right in tonight. Not going to waste any time. So Suggester is available for free on the App Store, but it does have in-app purchases. Some apps, in-app purchases are not worth it. This app, 100% worth it. Definitely go in and do the full, in-app purchases. $10, it's worth it. So what we're going to be talking about is how we can get full-on chords playing in Beatmaker 3. So let me just pull up, it really doesn't matter what progression we use, but I'll pull up one that I actually used for our last tutorial video. Let's make sure we got sound. And there we go. So we've got chords picked out. I'm not going to do a full overview again of how you use the app and everything, but these are where you would get your chords in the Suggester window. And I've got a bunch put in down here, so we can just play through them. So I actually used this progression to create a track in Beatmaker 3. And that is what I'm going to pull up now. Up until this point, the way I would get this MIDI data out and into Beatmaker 3 would be to go up here and hit export and export as a MIDI file. And then I could save that in my files, pull that into beatmaker 3, and it would have the same exact note values as what I have selected here, and I'd be good to go. What I'm going to talk about now is how you can do it and use it as actually almost like a MIDI controller for beatmaker 3. So let me open up a session. I just got to make sure I have the right one. Let's see. Don't think that's the right one. Give me just a sec to make sure I got the right session pulled up. I think it's this one. Nope, that's not it. Yes, this is it. Okay, cool. So this right here, this MIDI right here, is MIDI that I actually played once from Suggester, and I'll show you how I did it. First, I guess I'll play you what it sounds like now. So that's the progression, and those are the chords I have set. So now what I want to do is I'm gonna try to do it over again. We'll actually duplicate this bank, and there we go. I'll delete the MIDI data here, and we will go ahead and pull up Suggester, and I'll show you what settings I used to do the MIDI. So in here we will hit your app options, and then you will set up MIDI output. Okay, hit destination, and make sure you have beatmaker 3 selected. Okay, once you've done that, go back to beatmaker 3. Okay, pull up your settings. I'll try to do this slow so you can see what I'm doing. And you'll see an option right here, it says Suggester. We will turn that on, and now we have MIDI going straight into beatmaker 3. But you'll notice it's not going to just like let you use, let's see. Yeah, we need to be able to play these in. So what we would do is hit this button here, and that's one of the, sorry, let me hit the chord. It's playing the chord, but we also have that piano sound in the back. So it's playing audio from beatmaker 3 when I hit a chord, and I can hit any chord. But what I want to do is hit this mute button down here so that I'm not hearing the piano sound that comes from Suggester. So now, if I hit any of these, it's using the sound straight from beatmaker 3. Yes, so Mobile Music Pro has a good question. I'm glad you asked that. He says, can't you use Suggester as an AUV3 MIDI effects app inside beatmaker 3? Yes, this is possible, but from my fiddling around with it, I found that trying to play in using the the MIDI keyboard that comes with beatmaker 3, it just hasn't been working. And maybe I haven't done enough, digging into that. But this way has been the most surefire way I've found to get it to work. So yeah, so basically we're just gonna use this as a MIDI controller. And the cool thing about doing it this way is we can actually keep it up on the screen at the same time. And I'll show you how I do that. So now that we have these chords loaded up and it's firing, into beatmaker 3, we'll pull up beatmaker 3, all right? We got everything set. We're gonna record to this channel here, and we will go ahead and pull up Suggester and a slide over here. And now we can actually just hit these chords while beatmaker 3 is up. And that allows us to use like our transport and stuff like that. So if I want to re-record this, let me mute that, and we will re-record it like this. Oh, it has it selected. Let's see, undo that. I didn't select the right channel again. Okay, now it should work. Here we go. 2, 3. I'm supposed to do those all back to back. One more time. That is the same progression all in there. Now you'll notice these chords are coming in really short. They're not coming in with sustain. You can't really set a sustain inside of Suggester. So what I did was I actually set the notes to where they wouldn't overlap, because if you get overlapping MIDI, you might run into issues. They're all set to quarter notes, dotted quarter note rather, and that's your length. So what you can do is you can then go in and make them longer. Now you can change that length in Suggester to be like something like a half note or longer, but when you do that, you're gonna have to deal with potentially the chords will overlap, which just makes it harder to drag if you need to. You can't set separate lengths for each one, unless, I guess you could, yeah, no, not for your MIDI, you can't. But I can show you where you can edit that length. So we'll pull Suggester back up as a full app, and we'll go into Settings, App Options, and then there's a setting in here, let's see. Here we go, previews, dotted quarter note. So that's what the preview is set to. You can change this to whatever you want. You can make it extra short, extra long, and that is going to control how long these chords hold out when you play them like this. Now it's easier to trigger them like this, one by one during your recording in Beatmaker 3 than it is to try to press play down here at the bottom and then let it play itself, because you have to lock in the tempo in order for that to work. Although I suppose you could do that. But you know what, let's give it a shot. So we want this to be a whole note. That'll be a half. That'll be a quarter. Do that one a whole note. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Okay, now all we have to do now is set our tempo here to the same thing as this one. So it's 76 in Beatmaker 3. We will set this one to 76 as well. And if everything goes according to plan, when I hit play here, it should record directly in and it should be synced. Oh, sorry, let me do this. We will bring Suggester over as a slide over. Let's go back here. And let's just delete this pattern. Move this out of the way. Here we go. All right, let's try recording that. Here we go. Bada bing, I think that got it. Let's see, I think it cut that last one a little short, but let's see. It might have worked well. Hold up. Yeah, that's definitely not right. Okay, Gladys says I should do a close-up of my iPad for better viewing. Okay, yes, my apologies. I can actually do this. Thank you for reminding me. Sometimes I forget to do that. Yeah, this should help you be able to see it better. I can also, we should have the iPad screen coming in here. Oh, well, I guess my iPad screen doesn't want to come in. Not sure why that is. Suppose we could try doing this. Forgive me if you guys hear any popping sounds. Okay. We should be getting something. Here we go. All right, great. And there it's gone. Man, I don't know why that is. Oh, it looks like it's back. Okay. There we go. That's what we want. So I'll try to go back and forth between this angle and also the overhead and potentially this overhead as well. So I can try to get you guys the best angle that I can. Let me know if you guys are ever having trouble seeing anything. I'm more than happy to adjust. Cool. All right. Let's see. I see a couple comments from Mobile Music Pro. Okay, he said, okay, interesting. In Cubase's 3, I just tap the chords directly on Suggester app. I don't actually use the MIDI keyboard. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Mobile Music Pro is saying when he does it in Cubasis, for example, he loads it up as a MIDI effects plugin and then taps the chords in the same way we did, it seems like, but actually inside the app. So if that works for you, that's dope. I'll have to test that. I haven't tested that yet. Yeah, maybe we can do it that way. All right, cool. All right, sweet. Let's keep moving. So, as we have just discovered, the Beatmaker 3 didn't seem to like that way of doing it, where we just press play in Suggester. So, as I was saying, the initial way I showed you guys, where I just had it, where I tapped in one by one. Let me take this comment off the screen, sorry. Where I just tapped it in, that's what we want to do. And that seems to work every time. And you just have to go in and adjust your note lengths on your own. So why is this important? Why is this helpful at all? Because it allows you to basically generate your own MIDI chord packs without having to deal with files at all. It's actually pretty dope. Now there are, like, you know, in the desktop realm, there are apps like I think like Captain Chords and stuff like that, plugins like that, that are pretty well integrated and make it really easy. I imagine stuff like that is coming to iOS sooner than later. But for now, this is actually a pretty great workaround. Like, I haven't touched my Unison MIDI chord pack in a while now, just being happy using MIDI chords. And, you know, it really does just help with your level of inspiration when you can go in and throw in chords on your own. Especially, you know, it does something for your confidence when you're able to generate your own chords too, rather than just, you know, grabbing them off of a MIDI pack. But let's just jump right back into Suggester real quick. And since I have it on this screen, I will just, let's see, we'll do it like this. All right. So I'll just do a quick, what we'll do is we will actually start with, well, maybe we'll create some fresh chords, and then we'll get into some live beat making where we, you know, make a beat based on those chords. But before we do that, if you're just now tuning in or you've been in here for a while, definitely hit that like button. It definitely helps out the channel, helps this video get placed in front of more people, and it also helps fine-tune your suggested feed on YouTube so you see more content that you actually want to see. So thank you. I'm seeing some folks throwing in some likes right now, so thank you for that. You know, obviously, like it if you like it. If you don't, it's all good. Right now, if there's any other questions that anyone has about Suggester, please feel free to put those in the comment section right now. I'm happy to talk about it. And if there's any, you know, those of you that are already using Suggester, if you have like features that you're not sure how to use, or features that you're hoping get added, let me know. I always like to reach out to developers for the community if there's something that can be done to make an app better. But I believe the name of the creator of Suggester, his name is Matthew Routhier. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but that's what his name is. And this is a pretty dope app. It is available for Mac too, the Mac users out there. It is, I believe, a bit more expensive on Mac in the Mac App Store, but it is available. And all of the project files that you make, they sync across your iCloud. So I can pull this up on my iPhone, my iPad, even on my Mac, and I'm good to go. So if I want to do any desktop producing and I want to bring in a chord progression that I made on my iPad, I'm set. It's pretty clutch. So, all right. I don't see any questions rolling in, so we're gonna get ready to transition here pretty soon and get into some live beat making. I'm still deciding exactly how I want to do that. But what we'll do, gonna be about 30 to 60 seconds. We're gonna have a quick intermission, and I will come back. So don't go anywhere. I'm talking about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. while I get everything set up, and then we'll be right into it. So don't go anywhere. All right, we are back, and since our first segment was so short, I think I'm gonna press in and do some legit long lengthy production and see maybe if we can even knock out a full beat by the end of the video, like actually sequenced out. We'll see if we can do that. But I got kind of a minor game plan. What I'm gonna do is I'm sure all of you have heard, anybody that does anything with production on YouTube, watching production videos on YouTube, I'm sure you've seen Kyle Beats before. Kyle Beats with his drip plugin, 2 clicks, and it's perfect. I haven't used the drip plugin, but I did download his free Andromeda kit forever ago, and I haven't messed with it yet. So I haven't even, I just started looking through the files today. I'm like, oh, I forgot I had this. So we're going to pop in, see what kind of samples we got in there, and maybe cook up some heat with that. So I'll probably just, tell you what I'm doing as I'm going a little bit, but mostly focused on just straight up production. If you guys have questions about what I'm doing, I'm always happy to explain. So don't feel like you can't ask, because I'm happy to explain. All right, cool. All right, so let's see what we got. Samples, and we got Andromeda. All right, so I kind of want to check out some drums. We got some 808s. I'm not a huge fan of these 808s. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Also, y'all tell me if it's coming in too hot, or if it's too soft when it comes to the sound. And I'm happy to adjust. Let's see. I don't know if I'm feeling those kicks either. Let's see. Okay, I do like these claps though. These claps are kind of fire. All right, let's get a bank loaded. All right, fresh bank. Kind of like this one. Got a lot of good hats in here. Kind of like that one. That'll work. And then we need some, any closed hats? Hi-hats, okay. Ooh. Some of these are pretty fire. All right, I'm feeling that. Ooh, that is a little hot. Okay. Let's see about some melodic loops. We'll do a fresh bank for that. I'm kind of interested in seeing what we can do with that. Alright, what do we want our temp to be? Let's see. Let's see. 170, that works. Alright, and then we'll tune this up quite a bit. Alright, and then we will set the original tempo to 122 because that's what it was. And we'll live stretch. Ooh, I like that. All right, we're gonna chop this up. All right, let's get this in slice mode. Let's see, auto slice, grid, half. Let's do half grid. That should work. Save. Do you want to slice to single layer or to pads this time? Let's do the single layer. And then, oh, I didn't mean to do all of those to single layer. All right, let's see. It'd probably be helpful if you guys could see what I was doing. So it's the same thing across like 8 pads. All right, so what we need to do now is get some effects on this. I'm thinking some tape effects. Do the whole bank. Don't know if you guys know, Fly Tape 2 dropped. I'm gonna mess with it. Let's see, actually let me record it first and then we'll add it on there. All right. Oh, Benjamin Demers says, have I seen the Luna display dongle thing? As a matter of fact, I have. And I do have one. I have a Luna display actually. Only problem is on the M1 Max, it's kind of a side tangent, but on the M1 Max, they only allow one display at a time. So one Thunderbolt display at a time. And that if you're using a laptop, like I am, this MacBook here, the built-in display counts as a display. So it supports up to 2 displays total, and that includes the laptop display. So I have my monitor up in front of me, and then I have this display here, so it won't let me use the Luna display through the Thunderbolt, actually. So I don't know. Maybe it's kind of collecting dust right now. But there are other ways to get other displays in, just so you guys know. If you are using an M1 Mac, you can add additional displays beyond just the 2, but you have to use special adapters for that. But I can't use those for the Luna display. But yeah, there you go. So. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what I'll do. All right, let's try that. I think I want this more like 160. All this indecisiveness. We'll get there. Doesn't seem to sync up right. Hold up. Get these effects close. Oh, because live stretch is turned off. Why? Alright, high quality. High quality. High performance? Okay, now I think we're good. Alright, cool. Alright, here we go. One more time. It's like exactly the same. One more time. Alright, I think that's way out of time, but let's see if it's synced up. Oh, let's get that loop going though. Oh, we lost the light. Alright, let's switch this up real quick. Metronome volume. Thanks for the suggestion. I can definitely turn that down. Let's see. Let's try that. Is that better? There we go. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to duplicate this. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can do something with fly tape too. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. One, we got warble. Okay. That's crazy. Well, that's kind of annoying. So you gotta load up a second. Okay. I'm messing with fly tape 2 for the first time, so if it's seeming like I'm taking a long time, it's because I am. Yeah, so. Okay. Let's get fly tape open a second time. And let's do these separate. We'll do the warble. Let's do the warble here. Full warble. And then we will do the lo-fi here. Oh. Okay, so we'll do the noise here. We'll turn the noise off here. There we go. Alright, I already know where this is going. Alright, we're gonna get into my samples that I actually use more often. Get a good 808. Oof. Let's see, I can turn this down a little bit. Benjamin asks, what happened to the MPC drum pads? I was going to try to keep it under wraps, but I've got some new MIDI coming in that I am excited to show you guys. But so, I mean, what was I saying? The Akai MPD. It was doing a good job. And I definitely like it, and I definitely 100% recommend it. But you know, I don't have the luxury of I don't have the luxury of having as many pad controllers as I want. So I sent that one in and used the money to get something else that I'm going to be showing you guys soon. But don't think that means like I don't recommend the Akai MPD, because I still 100% do. It was killing while I had it. But spent a little extra on something else, and I'm stoked to show that to you guys. I'll be doing that in the near future. So, all right, cool. Let's see. Oh, we already got one. Yeah, okay, cool. We'll use that. And then I need a kick. Load up a kick. Man, that like background noise is gonna get on my last nerve with I'm just gonna turn that off for now. We'll add it back later. Okay. There we go. Alright, now we need a kick. Terrence Mosley asks, "Yo fam, are you using Beatmaker 3 as a standalone and Suggester as a standalone to be able to play MIDI, to be able to play in the MIDI?" Yes, actually. Yeah, Beatmaker 3 standalone and then Suggester standalone. But I'm linking them through MIDI. So I'm doing MIDI out of Suggester and MIDI in to Beatmaker 3. And yeah, you can, if you need to go back and look at the video, I definitely went over the whole setup thing, so feel free to rewind. All right, we need some kicks. We need a good kick. A decap. I think I want the codeine kick for this one. One shots. Kick. Ooh. Ooh, warm bassy, that sounds good. All right, here we go. There we go. All right, let's get that in. Missed it. All right, let's get that in. There it is. All right. Woo! 808 is too hot. All right, let's get the right note. This is where we bring in the MIDI. You live X key? There we go. All right, there we go. Let's see. We got B there. What is happening? I keep losing. This is annoying. For some reason, I don't know if any of you guys have ever had this issue before, but my X key Air is, for whatever reason, disconnecting itself whenever I go between the play and pause button. Yeah, lost it again. I don't know why. Wonder if I didn't charge it. Alright, it's hard to keep up with that warble going. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, there we go, we'll do that. Alright, something like that. Well, I'll let it play again. Let's see if I can get that in. I missed a couple notes. Let's see. Alright, we're going to pitch this up a couple octaves and see if we can fix it. Let's do this. Close that. There we go. We got some doubled notes in here. Yeah, we don't need that one. So delete that one. Let's take this up. There we go. Okay. Let's see if that works. Let's see, we'll do. Let's try that. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. All right. Actually, let's take this. Let's take this one. That's a B. Bring it up the octave. All right, and then we'll take everything and drop it back down the octave. We're talking F sharp 3 here. There we go. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Hey, welcome to my little bro. Welcome. Yes, I am live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Just like your own brother to be like, I didn't know you'd be live at the same time you're live every week. Yeah, but thanks though, bro. Appreciate the compliments. All right, back at it. I know, bro. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm glad you made it. All right. This needs we need a little more happening in this hi-hat section. Yo, I'm gonna do that. A simple melody, piano melody line on top would be dope. All right, I'm gonna try that. Ooh, I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better. Hold up. I don't even remember the name of this instrument. I'm going to have to pull up a session. I'm going to have to pull up a session just to figure out what the name of this instrument is. Hold up. Decap flute from Africa stab. All right, cool. So let's go back to the session we were on. Good call. This is going to be good. This is good. All right, we will go. It's in decap. Oh, look at that. We're already in decap. Is that under percussion? No. Oh, it's going to be under one of the other. Is it under effects? No, that'd be under tonal. No, we're going to find this. Hold up, what's this? That is so loud. So sorry. All right, I might use some of these though. Okay. All right. I'm gonna find this instrument. I don't know what those are, but they're fire. I have to come back to that next time. All right, volume 5. So it's gonna be volume 5. Nope. Volume 4. There it is. Yeah, that's the one. All right, let's see what we got. Let's skip. Sharp. There we go. Okay. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do with that is we'll get just some fat reverb on here. Yo, Ben. Oh, okay, nope. Yeah, catch you later, man. Thanks for rolling through. Yo, came in on your lunch break. Yo, that's real support. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you rolling through. Alright, so. Let's try that. I missed that last note. Let's see, hold up. let's undo that one. Oops. I'm gonna do that. That'll work. Let's see. All right, yeah, we do need some more happening with these hi-hats. Really quick, for those of you guys who are still tuning in watching this, I know this is pretty basic, but some people might not know this, so I'm happy to help. If you ever want to, instead of having to reload your sample from it, if you want to have a second of the same instrument in your pads, instead of going in and like re-dragging it in, you can just hit the select button over here. Hopefully this will get closer in here. You can hit select, and then you can hit copy pad, select the pad you want to paste it to, and hit paste, boom. And then you're good. Just make sure you turn off select after so you can hear it. Okay, couple comments. Young High Status wants to know, what reverb am I using? I'm using the FabFilter Pro R. Benjamin says, have I been successful taking one sound or one shot and making an instrument from it? Yeah, actually, I did that. Did I do that on Stars? I did do that on Stars. The song that I released last year. I actually used my voice to create a sound. I can't remember what sound I did, but it was actually a lot of fun. And I have been successful. There's a lot you can do to shape a sound the way you want it. In beatmaker 3. Terrence Mosley says, hey fam, can you do a video on how to create your own custom template? When you say custom template, I'm assuming you mean like a bank on here. So like how to make your own bank that you can just pull up again, over and over again. I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, Young High Status, the way you copy pads, have your pad selected, hit the select button over here, press copy pad down here, and then on the right here, wherever you want to paste it, just hit paste pad, and then make sure you turn off select after you're done. So, cool. All right, I'm gonna get back to it. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. All right, let's get that in. Young High Status says, how to tune 808s the right way. I think you meant to say in BeatMaker? Yeah. Man, I should do a whole, I feel like I should do a whole video on that, or a segment, but suffice it to, actually, I have done a video on that. I just remembered. I did do a whole video on how I create my bass sounds and how I tune them. So go back, check my channel. It's fairly recent. It says the thumbnail says "Tune Your Basses" on it, and it should help you out pretty well. But suffice it to say, you can edit the sound of each sample. So let's see. My 808 is actually currently muted, but yeah. Here's my 808, and yeah, it's muted, so let me unmute it. Right here. You can go in and edit your tuning right here. So, put it where you can see it. You can tune, bigger intervals, like a step at a time, half step at a time, and then you can fine tune it. And then once you've done that, you can go in and if you're gonna play something in, you probably noticed me do this during the during this live stream. My 808s, when I play them in up the octave. So the one I just played right here, go to keys. I found my note like this. All I did was go in and just play the sample. And have the thing up a couple octaves and just tap until it sounded right. Like once you found your root note, then you're good. When I say root, that's the one. That's the. Let me try to put this in the best way I can. The root of your chord. So this is obviously a minor song, and it happens to be, if this is tuned right, in F sharp minor, and that's the one. So the chord would be. Here we go. F sharp, A, C, or on a piano, let's see. Yeah, F sharp, A, C sharp. That's F sharp minor. So what you want to do is find the root of your chord. Once you got that, you can, pitch it back down a couple octaves, and now I know I'm set. What people tend to do, the thing that gets you in hot water, is if you go in, you're like, oh yeah, 808 is supposed to sound nice and low, and you go and you're like, this is the right note right here. It's really close to the right note. It's really close, but if you put this in, it's gonna clash so bad because that's the way waveforms work. And you can't hear as well in your head. Our ears cannot hear as well in the lower frequencies, so that's why I pitch everything up a couple octaves before I get ready to play it in, so I can make sure the notes I'm playing are correct. So if you go back and you rewind to the part where I was putting in my 808, you'll notice that's what I was doing, playing it up the octave a lot to make sure I had the right note. Hopefully that helps. Yeah. Benjamin says, if you know the key of the song, it's easy to find the root note. That is a bar. Yes, absolutely. Knowing the key of your song is super helpful. So there you go. All right, back to it. see. There we go. This is the one. Actually, we're gonna do this. You know what? Let's auto pan this one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, my bro said best show in the chat. All right, yeah, you're right. I need to add the stamp. You right. Thanks for reminding me. Can't be making these beats on here with no stamp on them. What am I doing? All right, hold on. Oh yeah, here's a quick pro tip. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you guys before. So, yo, producers out there, y'all got your own, do you guys have a producer stamp yet? I want to know, like, actually, if you're watching this, let me know down in the chat if you have your own producer stamp yet. If you don't, I would highly recommend creating one, and I would do it sooner than later. And here's my thing about producer stamps. Try to make them interesting and non-disruptive. If you can make a nice sounding, unique producer stamp that is non-disruptive, you don't have to worry about taking it off your beats all the time. You know, if you're producing for other artists, sometimes it'll be like, yo, I'd rather not have the producer stamp on there. And of course you can charge a fee to pull that off. But if you'd rather not have to, like, if you really do want your branding on just about everything you do, if you can make it as non-obtrusive as possible, it'll be an easier sell if you're trying to sell beats to other producers, to just leave it on there and say, yeah, I don't really do beats without my producer stamp on it. You know, you could say something like that. If you have a producer stamp that's, you know, palatable enough. And then here's the pro tip though, to all you Beatmaker 3 users out there. Once you have your product, your production stamp, make a bank. Make a bank for it. So I have a bank in here called stamp, and I will just load the bank. And all I got to do is, as it's playing, so that's my producer stamp in there. And the reason I say it's important to have your own bank is so that no matter no matter what track you pull it in, it will be synced up to time. So for example, this is a 2-part stamp, and I don't usually like to play it without anything else in the background. I have it split so that I can sync it with the tempo, and it's really easy to do when you have it on a bank. So get your producer stamp on a bank so that you don't have to worry about tempo issues. That's all I'm saying. All right, cool. Prod Michael says, nope, I don't know what that is. Yeah, okay, so, sorry, I guess I shouldn't assume. A production stamp, so a producer stamp. On all of my music that I put out, you'll hear, that sound that I just played for you, the show, that's my producer stamp. And it's actually mine and my brother's producer stamp because we produced together. But that is basically marking that this is something that I created, and it helps create, yeah, a tag, yeah. Probably Michael. Yeah, a tag. I call it a producer stamp. I mean, I think it's pretty interchangeable. Yeah, your tag. You can. So yeah. So what I'm saying is basically it's your branding, and it's also, you know, helpful for when you're doing beat sales. You know, when you put your beats up, and you know you throw the tag in there a few times to avoid piracy. But it's even better. I would think beyond that when it comes to producer tags or stamps, and think of your own personal branding. When you hear my track, you know, and you hear that stamp, you're like, oh yeah, I know who produced this. And I know a lot of producers do like so and so on the beat, and like I feel like that is really played out. Like I've heard that so many times. Some people do it, make it sound fresh. Like I don't know if you guys know the producer Gavi. His production stamp is Gavi Get 'em, which is kind of dope. Like it's, you know, his own thing. Anyway, I digress. I'm kind of blabbering on, but yeah, make a production stamp so you can start building your personal branding. So when people hear your tracks, like, oh, I know who I'm listening to. All right, let me get the producer stamp on here. Here we go. I don't really want the delay on here. It's like way too loud. Okay, couple questions. J.A. Bro, I like your thumbnail, your icon. That's fire. You think we get a Logic? Or do you think we get Logic on iPad soon? I certainly hope so, man. I certainly hope Apple's gonna throw some Logic our way. It's long overdue. And then. Proud Michael asks, can I make a video on making tags or stamps? I think that's a great idea. I will throw that in the books. Can you create it using just the iPad? Absolutely. You absolutely can. That's how I did mine. Actually, you know what? No, I made mine before I was doing iPad music production. Young High Status says how to use one-shots on BeatMaker 3. That's kind of a vague question. I mean, there's a lot of ways to use one-shots, but yeah, maybe if you had more specific question, I could help better. All right, let's see. I think we're getting close to done here for the night. All right, let me see if I got this flute part sounding all right. It's just really loud. last idea is to throw some, let's see, modulation, delay. Let's try chorus. All right, man. All right, so that was quite a lengthy process of just getting that much done. But this isn't usually. I mean, those of you that have seen me produce before, like, I don't do this genre a lot. I don't do a lot of trappy stuff. I'm trying to get back into it. It's been a while. So that's why it's taken me so long to get all of this in. But yeah, I think I'm gonna save patterning this out for another stream. I don't like to keep it rolling too long if I don't need to. I got a quick question from Prop Michael. What drum kit am I using? So as I was talking about at the beginning when we got started, I'm using mostly the Kyle Beats Andromeda kit, which I had never used before. And decided to start messing with today. It's Kyle Beats' free kit, and that's where I got hi-hats and the claps, and then the kick I'm using is from Decap, and the 808 is from what is that? I forget what that's called. Let me check for you. It's 808 Mafia, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, on Splice. 808 Mafia is what that one was. But yeah, those of you that know the channel know I do some lo-fi and some old school type vibes, some vibey type stuff very often. So if that's what you're into, you're definitely in the right place, because I'll be doing a lot more of that in the future as well. But I will bust in and do some trappy trap stuff every once in a while just for fun. And I didn't do that a lot for this because the genre doesn't call for it, but I do tend to like to use a lot of like live instrument percussion and stuff like that. So if that's something that you think you'd be interested in, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can catch more of that next time. And also, if you're not yet, definitely follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jahrell Amani, where I will be a lot more active in the future. But lately, I'm letting everybody know when I'm going live, and I'm going to be putting up some interesting short form content in the near future. So excited for that. Thank you guys for rolling out. Quick question. I'm going to be doing a lot of app-based videos in the future where I talk about some of my favorite apps. So my question to you is, what are your go-to apps for music production on the iPad or on your iPhone even? I would love to know, what is the app that you're going to almost every time you make music? I would like to know what that is, because I'm always looking for new recommendations. Yeah, Benjamin Demers let me know that was it Flytape? Flytape 2 came out. Appreciate that. I have another synth app that I'm checking out called, let's actually see, what is it called? It's called Minth. If you see it on the screen right here, Minth at the bottom. That is one that I'm checking out, and I'm pretty stoked to see what that's about. So stay tuned. You're going to keep getting more app info from me. But until next time, creatives, go make something dope, and I'll see you in the next video.